So, Rob has completed his Paduk Dovetail Box, the Paduk version of my Poplar Dovetail Box. Before we get stuck into this outro, if this is the first video of this series that you have seen, be aware that there is like 20 parts prior to this. 20? 19?
19.
18 parts prior to this, where we break down every single step of building this box from start to finish. Tiny little details, so you can build this with, you know, pretty much anywhere with any level of skill that you may have. Rob has built this box alongside my main series. All of those lessons are available in my website, which is available to see in the description below. So click that link and it'll take you straight to the project page where you can see all of those lessons.
Indeed.
So, how did you find it in general?
For my first true proper woodworking project, I am amazed at how well it turned out. And in terms of how did I find it, how did I find building it, it was a lot easier having the guidance of someone like you compared to, say, the teachers that used to exist at school.
Questionable.
Indeed, indeed. So literally, genuinely, this is created, I would say 96% from watching your videos. The extra 4% is from asking Matt in person what needed to be done, and everything that was said in person was then shown in the student series video. So you can literally get this sort of standard, which I think is all right.
It's distinction.
Distinction, no way, is it really?
No, it is. Yeah, it is. So at the school I teach at, I teach furniture making. For those of you that don't know, we have different grades for the projects that come out. You can either fail, so self-explanatory. You can pass, which is, it's a box. You can get, it's certainly a box. You can get a merit or a distinction, which is like distinction's kind of the top, let's say 10%. And yeah, this is there. It's there. And do you know what? That a lot of that comes down to how well it has been finished. I think, like, it just looks like it's been finished well. It's been nicely sanded. It's been refined, and like obviously the joints are good, and you've got, you know, all the gaps are pretty much closed up. We've got a few small things in places, but the way it's been cleaned up, the way the profile's been retained, yet the edge has been taken off. Sticky lid.
Is a bit sticky.
That's a bit of a problem, you see.
But no, that's called a close fit.
It's called a close fit, yeah. I've had mine at home for the past few weeks, and the lid's actually shrunk a bit. Oh, mine's bowed as well. It's shrunk a bit and it's got a little bit loose, whereas Rob's had it in this damp-ish workshop, therefore it's expanded. Yeah. So if you do build this box, you might find that you need to take a bit off that rebate on the inside in order to make it fit. But yeah, overall, it is of that quality.
Fantastic, thank you.
Yeah, it's very nice indeed. Very nice indeed. But yeah, completely achievable by someone who is, safe to say, a complete beginner.
Yeah, literally, I just looked earlier, what was it, 8 years ago was the last woodworking thing I ever did at school in the same class as this guy. 8 years ago, and to be fair, most of that project was put together by the assistant teacher, not me. Yeah. So this is literally from scratch, and I am rather proud of it. Yes. I'll be honest.
And at the start of this, Rob didn't not only know how to do woodworking in general, but sharpening, tool setup. Yeah. It's all these other things alongside the process of learning this.
I'll tell you what, the biggest thing, genuinely, this isn't meant to sound, I don't know, it sounds kind of weird. The biggest thing I learned from this is how to think. How to think.
It is.
In a woodworking way, in a practical way.
Yes. I'm
very much a tech guy. I really like doing videos, editing, software, all this sort of thing, because there's an undo button. That's fundamentally what it is. These don't have that, so planning is essential at every step of the way. And in my earlier videos, the earlier starts, all of the issues came from me being lazy and not planning and not just pushing the quality control when I really should always be thinking, right, what can I do to make it better? Have I actually completed this step to its fullest extent? Because I could have very easily said, Dovetail looks all right, that's sort of sorted, that's all right. and I would have ended up with a subpar box. But because you kept on picking up on my little things that I like to be lazy about, I've ended up learning and growing as a boy.
As a boy. Like, we often say that the course I teach isn't a furniture making course, it's a problem solving course. Because
I can understand that.
When you're making it, you've got to be thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead of the process that you're currently doing, thinking, if I screw this up now, it's obviously going to screw up this stage, but that's going to haunt me a lot later on, 2, 3 steps. Whereas it's not only thinking ahead, it's also repairing things or problem solving problems that you're having in that moment as well.
Yeah,
it's so much of it is thinking. It's a different mindset.
It's non-stop, and I didn't realise how lacking I was in that sort of. I always thought I'm a really logical person. I'll just follow the videos, go step by step. I've written out a list, do the thing, done. No, it's just every single slight change in the plan or change in the way you're doing something, it affects the next step, as you said, and also like where you're actually creating the product. You're left-handed, so you were doing a few things on a different part of a bench, and I'm like, well, how do you do that? I can't even work it out how to do it right-handed. And then the problem solving comes in, maybe at a basic level, but it translates into so many different things with other projects.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm very much a logical person as well, believe it or not. I like I like things to be in logical order, should we say. I'm not a logical person, but I do have that trait where it's like, okay, this. I like lists. I like spreadsheets. I like things like that. However, this project, or woodworking in general, it's not necessarily a line. It's sort of and then they branch out. It's like a tree, funnily enough.
Yes.
Yeah, that's quite funny, isn't it?
Oh yeah, woodworking.
Yeah,
I wasn't getting that.
Every now and then it comes back where it's sort of like, okay, you've fixed whatever happened here, and then you're back on track, and then it's like, now you're this way.
Can I give a metaphor as well? I'm thinking it's like, and it's already said, you're at the bottom of a mountain. You can see your goal at the top. Yeah. But you don't know what path you're going to take until you start going. Yeah. And whatever comes your way, you've got to adapt to it.
Exactly.
That's a mountain.
That's what's in this box.
Yeah.
2 lovely metaphors to finish on today. But yeah, overall, very good work. Perfectly achievable by someone who is a complete beginner. And if you're interested in building something like this yourself with a pretty basic toolkit, you can do so following the link in the description to the online school. Everything's completely free. There's a little bit of excess for the plans, but to be honest, a box is a box. Yeah. You can design this yourself. It's the processes that are the main thing that are for free in this.
Exactly. Right.
All right.
I'm going to take this home.
Cool.
And I'm going to put it on the tree that it's made out of. Where should I put you? Stay there.
Where you been?
You alright there? Nice. I've just been over here. That's what.
Would you?
How much time has passed?
A whole 2 minutes since we cut that last section out. Oh, well, there we go. But very good effort, Thank you very much for watching, guys, and we will see you in the next series.
Indeed. See you then.